Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel, From Darkness to Light Radio Podcast. Also on Spreaker.com, it's You Minding Your Own Business and With Self Respect Leads to Self Love Radio Podcast as well. On From Darkness to Light, you can check it out on my regular podcast on YouTube. And you can also check it out on my podcast on Spreaker.com. I hope you guys are doing well. Me, I'm a little bit kind of tired, but so I decided to just combine all of these in one podcast instead of trying to do them all separately today. I just not up for it. But if you guys like the commentary and you want to hear more, please go to Spreaker.com. Check out all my podcasts by my name, ASHAMARIAMA, and you'll see all of my podcasts. My name is Asha Mariama. I'm a certified recovery, healing, and recovery coach. It's all about helping people on their paths and their journeys to a new and better you through self discovery. I help people to heal from the external and internal when it comes to health and wellness. I help people when it comes to the healing process, when it comes to spiritual warfare, when it comes to emotionally, when it comes to psychological, financial, relationships, all those good things and the different ways that we have to go about recovering, because the goal isn't just to recover to go back to the same things we went through 20 years ago. It's about doing something new, doing something better, doing something that basically, essentially, that's going to maintain our health and wellness, that's going to maintain our healing and maintain our success, maintain our marriages, our relationships, all those good things. So that's a little about me. And if you guys want to send me letters, or you want me to do their, Asha letters, or you want to be a guest on one of my podcasts, I would love to have you. Or you want to basically sponsor my channel and you want me to basically sponsor products, you can email me at asha.mariama01@gmail.com. That's asha.mariama01@gmail.com. Now, I wanted to do this particular podcast because this one is kind of close to my heart. The past 2 days, I have not really been able to sleep well. Now, I did go to Vegas and I did enjoy my birthday. I did. I had a great time. I enjoyed myself. But at the same time, I'm getting used back to Eastern Standard Time. So I'm trying to get adapted to that. And I'm trying to do better when it comes to sleep, because sleep is probably my problem, because today I noticed that I was just off kilter today. I just wasn't in myself today. And I started off okay, and then it ended up just getting bad. But at the end of the day, let me say this. We all have bad days. We all have things that we have to do that are going to make us better. So I said tonight I'm going to bed early. I'm just going to go and lay down and get some rest and sleep. And tomorrow I'm going to clean my kitchen and put everything in the dishwasher and stuff like that. But it's primarily my throat that is what's bothering me, and I'm just wanting whatever it is to come out of my throat so I can actually heal, as far as my throat is concerned. But I wish I knew what it was so it could just come out, but they can't seem to find it for some reason. So I made a decision that I'm going to Turkey to have them to look at my throat, having them to look at things and see what the world is going on, and going from there. So that's what I'm pretty much going to do. Now, the one thing that I've learned over the years is that every choice, every decision, every action, every behavior that we do has consequence and repercussion. It just does. And it's going to impact our mind, or it's going to impact our body, or it's going to impact our health. It's going to impact our health and wellness when it comes to how healthy we are, as far as physically is concerned, internally and externally. So it's also going to hit us spiritually, relationships. It's going to hit us in all aspects. It just is. So what I will say is today's topic is you minding your own business versus you minding somebody else's business. When you are out here minding other people's business, you're not getting done what you need to do. When you're worried about everybody else and you're not worried about yourself, that is not healthy. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong being empathetic, sympathetic, understanding. Nothing wrong with it. But when you are getting dogged out because of it, that's when it becomes a problem. When you're sitting up here and you're allowing people to hurt you, allowing people to do these, quote unquote negative things, then it becomes a problem. It's too many people that are worried about everybody else but themselves. They in everybody else's business. So, for example, you have all these content creators talking about, all these celebrities and all their business. And for me, I honestly don't care about none of their business. I don't care about Cardi B and Offset getting divorced. I don't care about a lot of this stuff that the rest of y'all care about because it's not putting money in my pockets. And don't get me wrong, ain't nothing wrong with, watching celebrity news every once in a while. Nothing wrong with it. But when it gets to the point that you're not getting nothing done, you're not getting nothing accomplished, then that becomes a problem. When you are sitting up here and everybody else is making money and you're still broke, sorry, I'm moving around. That's a very serious problem. You can't be sitting around talking about other people's relationships when you broke. You don't have the right to do that. Not at all. So give me 1 second right quick. Let me pause real quick. Okay, y'all, I have to take my medicine, so I had to get my yogurt. And I had to always rinse off my dishes, even though I put them in the dishwasher. You might have the residue of the stuff that you use for your stuff. So just want to make sure you rinse it off. But anyway, long story short, a lot of y'all are worried about these celebrities and worried about what they got going on, what they're doing. But when it comes to buying their products, no, they don't seem to do that. So, like I said, you have all these people that's talking about somebody else's life and their marriage, but yet you're not married. See, my whole thing is you don't have the right to talk about somebody else and you ain't got yourself together. You don't have the right to talk about rich and wealthy people when you're not rich and wealthy. But see, instead of doing that, you want to go and watch them fall. See, people want to see people fall. A lot of people claim they want people to win. I'm starting not to believe that. I'm really starting to believe that people really don't want people to win, that they really want people to fall. They really, really, really want people to fail. They want people to not succeed. They want people to be broke, lonely, and bitter. That is what they want. They want people to stay the way they were 20, 30 years ago. They want you to constantly be reminded of everything you did 20 years ago. They want to be able to lower your self esteem, self worth, self value. They want to do all of that. That's just what they want to do. And when they can't, then they get mad because they can't do it. Because they can't break you the way they want to break you. Then when they can't break you the way they want to break you, then they mad because they can't. So what's really amazing to me is when you got people that want to see people unhappy. You have people going after somebody else's marriage. Somebody trying to steal somebody else's stuff. Somebody's trying to take somebody else's job. Like I said, it's always somebody that want what you got. And a lot of people don't understand. If they can get it without working, oh, trust me, that's what they're going to do. If they can get it without having to do nothing, they're going to do just that. So when it comes to you minding your own business and your self-esteem, self-worth, and self-value, and your self-respect, that all centers around what you consume and what you acknowledge and how and what you're willing to put up with and what you're not. So if you say I'm not going to put up with a bunch of nonsense, then you won't put up with it. You don't have to. But if you choose to put up with nonsense, you better take what come with it. You decide to do something negative, then take what come with it. But see, the problem is a lot of people don't want to do that. They don't want to take what come with negativity. They don't want to take what come with the drama and all this other stuff. No, they don't want to do that. No, they don't want to do that. They don't want to take what come with anything. They just want to do something and let somebody else take the fall for it. So when it comes to you minding your own business, just because other people are more successful does not mean they're better than you. Because some people may be successful, but you don't know how they got there. You don't know how they got their success. You don't know how they became famous. You don't know what they all had to do to get there. Some people do negative things to get where they at. And these are not things you should do. Just like a lot of y'all are jealous because you see your homegirl with a man that get all this money, but you don't know he's putting his hands on her. So let me give you a story. There was a girl that was jealous of another girl because she ended up with a man that bought her and gave her the world. But what she didn't know was this man was beating her every single day. Purity beating her every day and forcing her to be intimate every single day and disrespecting her every single day until one day her friend decided she wanted her life. And so she started coming over more, dressing a different way, coming over when she's not there, spending time with him. Next thing you know, one thing leads to another, and they end up, getting it on. Well, he decides he wants to leave her for her best friend, and that's exactly what he did. So they end up dating. Everything is fine in the beginning. He treats her the same way he treats his ex, her friend, and so even though her friend didn't want to leave her marriage, in the end, it was actually a blessing because the fact of the matter that she was able to get away from him because he fell in love with another woman. So they end up getting married, and as soon as the honeymoon hit, he started putting his hands on her. And then she understood why in the world it was that old girl was what she was going through. So after about, I think, 2 or 3 years of it, she decides she wants to leave. So she goes and finds her homegirl, asking her to help her leave. And her homegirl's like, you want him so bad? You can have him. You want to be with him so bad? Well, now you get to have him. Now you get to take everything that come with him. Now you get to deal with him. Because I don't have to. Because if you leave him, I'm going to be the one dealing with it. I'm good. Now, in some cases, you got friends that will end up having a friend out of the situation. That's probably what happened. But there are many different types of domestic violence. Domestic violence is domestic violence. There's just different types of domestic violence. But you worrying about somebody else and don't know what they got going on. Some of y'all get involved in stuff you shouldn't even get involved in. It's not even your business. Why you get involved? Because you're nosy, you're curious, and you just want something to be involved in. And you want to feel like there's some type of purpose. So you decide to go and get involved with something like people that are in groups and they end up committing a crime. And then when they all get locked up, then it's every person for themselves. And at first, all of them may not say nothing. They may all have the same story. But then when they find out how much time they might be getting, and when that evidence comes up, then everybody wants to talk. Everybody wants to tell. And now all of y'all doing, you know, time for a crime that you committed. An example of this would be all these young girls unaliving their parents to be with some type of boy or be with their friends, and they all end up going to jail, and you don't never see that person no more. You don't never deal with that person no more. And now all of a sudden now you sitting there and that person is sending somebody else letters and trying to date somebody else, and now you're screwed because now you're in jail the rest of your life plus 10 years. You sitting up here wasting your life away with somebody that never loved you in the first place, but because you wanted them so bad, you pretty much bombard them into being with you, pressured them into being with you, and finally they do. And that's only because they know they can get whatever they want to from you. So at first everything is cool. Then all of a sudden this person is constantly cheating and you don't understand why they're cheating. Well, it's not that they're cheating. They told you from the beginning they never wanted you. They told you they wanted friends with benefits. That's what they wanted. And you didn't want to accept that. You wanted to continue to deal with this person knowing that this person is in a relationship with someone else. You didn't care. And now you're mad because they won't leave their wife. It's just like men that unalive their wives because they don't want to pay spouse support and child support and get half their income taken. So they unalive their wives or their husbands. And what happens? They still end up going to jail. All these people that live to try to impress people. They don't want to tell nobody their kids got a disability. They put their kids on a pedestal, and then when their kids end up disappointing them, because one that was the golden child ends up on drugs and alcohol. Like this one African folktale story that I saw. It was two girls, they were sisters, and one of them, they always made her feel like she wasn't good enough, that she wasn't worthy. They didn't want to pay for her to go to college, but they paid for her sister to go to college. She had to pay for her own car, but yet her sister got a new car. So it's always that one sibling that they say they always need more help than the other. No. And then you got one that's paying all the bills and the other one that ain't doing nothing. But yet and still, your mama and them want you to take care of that person. But yet and still, they not taking care of your mama. And so then when something happens and you find out they gave everything to your sister and not you, now you pissed because how in the world you gonna give her everything when she don't do nothing for you? Y'all sitting up here doing everything for her, but she ain't doing nothing for you at all. Okay. Please forgive my confusion, if you don't mind. So, like I said, when it comes to you minding your own business, you understand your blessings belong to you. You understand that it ain't good to be on social media strolling all day. Put your phone down, find something else to do. Because that's all you're doing. You're on social media trying to see what's going on. And don't get me wrong, it ain't nothing wrong with doing it, but if it's time to go to bed, it's time to go to bed. Put your phone down. It'll be there tomorrow, and get you some sleep. So, like I said, right now, after I do this, I'm gonna lay down. I'm gonna get some sleep. I'm going to bed early. Why? Because I was exhausted today. Because I'm still getting used to, getting accustomed to East Coast time because I was in Vegas. So I'm a little bit confused at the moment. But I had a great time with Vegas. I went by myself. I had a great time and I enjoyed myself. There's nothing wrong with you doing things on your own, even though, yes, it's harder. It is harder doing things on your own than doing it having somebody else there. But at the same time, if you got to go through a bunch of drama, if it's still like you're doing it by yourself, but yet somebody living in your house and ain't doing nothing, they got to go. It ain't no you ain't gonna work. You gonna get up and do something. Because it's one thing if you got kids and you want to stay home because you want to bond with your kids for 2 years before they start school. Okay, I get it, but ain't no excuse if you not homeschooling your kids that you're just staying home doing nothing. It don't take that long to clean a house. It really don't. It may take a couple hours for you to clean the house, and if you're cleaning every day, it shouldn't take you that long on Saturday because you've already pretty much mopped the floor. How many times can you mop the floor? How many times can you clean a bathroom? I mean, seriously. It's not like what y'all think it is. All these men keep thinking, yeah, you got to stay home and cook and clean. You got to give up your dreams and your goals to be with me. Absolutely not. Let me tell you something. Y'all better start learning that you better start loving people 50%. And what I mean by that, when I say 50%, I mean that basically you love this person based upon how they've earned your trust. If that person has not earned your trust, you don't give them 100% of your love. If that person has not earned your respect, then you don't give them 100% of your respect. You just don't. So basically what I'm saying is, I get it. I do. I get it. But at the same time, you minding your own business means you take care of yourself. You do for yourself. You are handling your business, and your blessings now belong to you. You sitting up here and you are taking care of business, and whether somebody here or whether they not, you're gonna be fine. No matter what. You always gonna have a safety net. You ain't never gonna hit rock bottom because you ain't never gonna be in that position. Sorry, y'all. Put stuff in the trash. But you ain't never gonna be in that position. Why? Because you ain't never gonna put yourself in a position where you depend 100% on people. You gonna understand that people come, people go. As long as you are able to handle your business, as long as no matter what happens, you continue to thrive, no matter despite your haters, as long as you continue to do you and continue to be the best version of yourself, that's what you minding your own business is. Your self-esteem, self-worth should be based on you and how you feel about yourself. And the minute that these people say, I don't like you, well, guess what? You can go ahead on somewhere then. You ain't my person. I'm not meant to be there. So if I'm focused on something and I'm focused on writing a book, I'm not going to be worrying about going to no club or going out. I'm going to get on a plane, go to Vegas, go and spend 6 months in the Bahamas, spend 6 months somewhere, enjoy the beach. And yeah, maybe I might take a day off and I might go do something, but I ain't worried about going to no club. I ain't worried about having sex. I ain't worried about none of that. I ain't even worried about marriage at this point. I'm worried about my happiness and basically keeping leverage. Because here's the thing, it's about leverage. When you deal with people, the only way you keep leverage is if you do the right thing. So the fact that you got people out here worrying about things that really, to tell you the truth, don't matter. You worried about somebody else having more money than you. You worried about the fact that right now you ain't got a man right now, and oh my God, I'm lonely, and what am I gonna do? Not understanding that during that time that you're alone, you are working on yourself. You are working on a business. You are working on something. And then when you get out in the world, you're gonna be like, well, hey, I'm doing well for myself. I'm doing good. And then when you get where you need to be and get done what you need to do, then you can go out there and have fun. But the minute you start hanging around other people, the minute you start focusing on other people, the minute you start lowering yourself being Captain Save-A-Ho, Build a Bear, Build a Dog, seat fillers, and people pleasers, you are not going to get done what you need to do. You're going to end up off track because you're trying to do fast and get fast and easy money versus doing things the right way. So when it comes to you minding your own business, you understand that nobody else is going to be impacted by what you do, and you're not going to be impacted and affected by anybody else. You minding your own business means I ain't got time for this nonsense. I don't care nothing about it. If I'm not having sex till marriage, I'm standing on that no matter what. I don't care how many ways you come at me. I don't care how many ways you try me. I'm still not doing it. If I'm not having sex till marriage, I stand on that. If I say that I'm not having no kids, I'm putting it in God's hands, I'm letting God deal with it. God will determine when I'm ready to have kids. Point blank, period. So again, if your faith in God is that strong or whatever your religion is or spirituality is, then no matter what, you're going to do what's right. Even though it ain't easy. So you mind your own business means that you're not a part of the crowd. You don't want to be in the crowd. You just want to be minding your business. It's okay to have a boring life. It's okay to have nothing going on. Because that means you have peace and tranquility in your life that money just cannot buy. So you ain't out here running around doing everything under the sun. So even though, yes, certain things are what they are, but at the same time, you know how to handle your business accordingly. So again, a person that is minding their business, they're not worried about everybody else. They are just worried about themselves and what they got going on. That does not mean they're selfish because they're being mean. It just means that they know how this world works, and they know the minute they get involved with somebody else, somebody gonna want them to lower themselves in order to be with them, or they gonna want me to cater to them, but they're not gonna reciprocate it, and I ain't got time for that. It's just that simple. People that basically have been there, done that, we are not wasting our time at this point. We are well aware that people have their preferences, and guess what? We're gonna let you have it. Point blank, period. We're gonna let you have your preference and keep it pushing. So, like I said, with these situations and stuff like that, a lot of y'all are involved in situations you shouldn't have been involved in the first place. Messing with people you should have been messing with in the first place. You try to uplift everybody else or lowering yourself and forgetting about you. Then you get about 40, 50 years and you're like, wait a minute, how in the world did I get here? How in the world, why is it that I didn't go to college? Why did I have a baby at 22 years old? Why did I have sex and I shouldn't have? Man, I'm telling y'all, when you start looking at your situations the way that I plan on teaching people, a lot of y'all are going to be pissed. You're going to be angry and you're going to be feeling some type of way. And you're going to like, how in the world did I get here? Because you went against the coulda, shoulda, wouldas. Instead of you accepting the word no when that person said they weren't interested, you kept chasing them down. You kept wanting to be a part of a group that you shouldn't have been involved in the first place, that never wanted you there in the first place. And they're going to make it hard for you. So there's no point of trying to be somewhere where you don't want to be. That's just like when it comes to bullying. Instead of letting your child stay in a school that they don't need to be, pack them up and take them to a different school. So all of that is important. So again, like I said, people gonna defend who they want to defend. People gonna believe who they want to believe. So like I said, you can sit up here and put my whole entire story out there. I don't care if you put it out there or not. I don't care. All I'm gonna say is, if y'all stupid enough to believe it, and you just gonna take that person's word who never met me and never had a conversation with me a day in their life in person, gonna sit there and tell me about my life, tell me about my situation, and they weren't there. Oh, okay. If you stupid enough to believe them, then you're not my people anyway. So again, yes, people gonna come and go. You can have 100 million followers, but that don't mean you gonna make $100 million. That part. So that's the thing with that. So just because you think that, okay, now I'm here, now I'm doing this, now I got this, that things are gonna be better, but then why is it you still want more? Why are you cheating on your wife because you bored? Why are you cheating on your man because you know you ain't getting no excitement no more? Well, the whole thing is excitement and everything is cracked up to be. Actually, excitement is one of the most dangerous things you can do, because you playing Russian roulette with your life because you want some excitement. Me, I'm good with being bored. I am good with just doing, I'm not saying bored in the way of just being bored. I mean, I'm not dealing with no trifling people. I ain't got nobody put me through no craziness. So if you want to know what boring is when I am living a peaceful, quiet life and I ain't got nobody put me in jail. I'm not doing nothing negative, but I am having a good time at the same time. So for example, even though I went to Vegas and I ain't gambled at all, well, guess what? I still had a great time. Why? Because I went to see Janet. I went to go see Circus LA. The two things I said I wanted to do, I did. So again, just because you ain't going to no parties and doing all this stuff does not mean that you're boring. It just means you're staying away from trouble, and parties and different things like that are trouble. So if you trying to meet your person, that ain't where you gonna meet the man in the gossiping club. Especially if you a godly person. What makes you think being a godly person means you gonna be sitting up there going to some gossiping club? Cause that's not where you gonna meet your spouse at. You ain't gonna meet them there. You ain't gonna meet them nowhere where there's demon spirits and a bunch of secular music running around here. I'm just saying. So, like I said, sometimes, like I said, we've all made mistakes. We've all done things that we ain't proud of. We've all been through some type of things that forever change our lives. But here's the thing: it's not you something happens and then you go right back to it. No, this is something that happens that you say I ain't never gonna go through this again, and I stand on that. When you stand on business and you stand on your morals, values, principles, and ethics, and you say, nope, I'm not doing it because I know it ain't going to end well. I ain't going to jail. I'm sorry, no. And they can get mad all they want to. I am not going to jail. For me, if it came down to my mama saying I can't be with this boy, I wait till I'm 18 so I can be with him. I just continue to just chill until my mom till I turn 18. But you know what? That's how most people end up at the house, because leaving their parents' house and regretting it later because you moved out because you want to have sex. That's what that is. You ain't move out just to move out. You moved out because you want to be able to do what you want to, because society tells you that when you turn 18, you have the right to move out. And you sitting up here thinking, okay, my parents are out here, they work every day, they do this, they do that, but you don't understand what it's like for them, the hours that they put in, the time they don't have. It ain't till you start working and you be like, God, I wish I wasn't working. God, I wish I'd have stayed home with my parents. I should have just stayed home with them versus me moving out. I said it all the time. So like I said, I get it. I do. I do. I understand. But you don't want to be 40 years old and you be like your whole entire life passed you by and you ain't done nothing because you up here trying to take care of everybody and please everybody else. And your dreams are put on hold. And now you 40, 50 years old. And now you like, oh my God, I don't let my life just pass me by. I done sat up here and let myself just go because I'm sitting up here worrying about everybody else, doing for everybody else because of what I'm willing to do to be loved, liked, appreciated, valued, wanted, needed, to be a part of something, to be validated, to be approved of, to be accepted. Man, why? At the end of the day, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it at all because it ain't. So even though, yes, it is a good thing when you got people that got your back. Yes, it is good. But you're going to have people coming and going no matter what. And like I said, you're gonna have a lot of people that's gonna knock you down, a lot of people that's gonna take advantage of you. Little pig, let me in. Nope. Nope, I'm not letting you in. Little pig, let me in. Nope. And I ain't even gotta say not by hair, my chin. All I gotta say is nope. Why you don't wanna let me in? Cause I don't want to. Cause I said you gonna end up leading me astray. How am I gonna lead you astray? Cause you gonna have me going against everything that's right to do something wrong and I just ain't messing with it. That's why. So if you somebody that stand on business, you stand on business. If you somebody that lost weight, it's by maintaining that weight. So again, is it gonna be easy? No. But when you see everything that come together the way it does, then you'll understand. So no. Mm-mm. So I just wanted to come on here and just tell y'all, mind your own business. Stop worrying about the celebrities. Stop worrying about the only thing you should be worrying about what the government doing. Cause they the ones that impact and affect your life. These celebrities don't. At the end of the day, half of y'all don't even buy their products anyway, so it don't even matter. So at the end of the day, these people ain't here to please you if you're not even listening to them. They just there because they have to be. So anyway, I am about to go to bed and get some sleep because I'm going to bed early. But I just wanted to come on here and just say to y'all, stop worrying about everybody else. Stop trying to look like everybody else, be like everybody else, think like everybody else. Just be you. The whole point of healing is to be you. The whole point of healing is no longer wear makeup no more. The whole point of being you is accepting you for who you are. And that includes your flaws and imperfections and turning them into strengths. I could walk out the door with no hair, walk out the door, no makeup, and put on something nice and still be cute with no hair. I could have pimples and still wear something cute and rock it, and it still wouldn't matter. So again, you can there are ways that you can get away from that. But like I said, when you sit up there wearing makeup and then 40 years later you got to wear Botox because you've been wearing it since 15. Okay. When you sit up here and you go through a car accident, next thing you know, you can't walk and it happened over time. People that all of a sudden now got arthritis. at an earlier age. People that got STDs and didn't know they had them because you didn't go in time to go to the doctor to get checked. Yeah, that part. So don't think I don't understand, and don't think I don't get it. But when it comes down to your health and wellness, what you choose and what you choose, what you accept, what you put up with, who you decide to bring into your world, what you decide to bring in your world, what you decide to basically focus on is what determines your outcome, good or bad. So if you don't research and educate yourself and weigh the pros and cons, you're gonna be screwed. If you base your decisions on your emotions, you're gonna be screwed every single time. Your feelings will destroy you every single time, no matter what. They just will. So, like I said, when you mind your own business, accept things for what they are, and maneuver in a certain way, life will be so much happier for you. So, but I get it though. So, like I said, minding your own business is hard because there's always something going on and you're interested. But if you take 6 months and put your phone down, take 6 months and not do nothing except maybe write a book, go for a walk, not even pay attention to nothing. Honey, you can tune things out and not pay attention to it if that's what you really want to do. But in the end, that depends on you and what you want to do. But like I said, that's something that I'm learning to do now. I'm learning to basically cut down social media. And today I did really good because I really wasn't on it like that. I did look at some of the Country Wayne skits, but I decided, you know what? I'm gonna start looking at them at night when they post all of them. Then go and do my Country Wayne reviews, and then call it a day. So again, once you start getting away from society and taking a break, you have no idea how relieved you are. Once you start a business and you don't have to work for nobody, the benefits that come with that, the fact that you're able to get the best doctors, the fact that you're able to have access to so many things is amazing. So, like I said, there's a lot of things they're not telling you. And as far as information, you're not able to have access to, because if you have all the answers, then number one, you know how to react to things, you know how to handle things, you know what to do. My throat hurt. So when you basically have all the information, then you can weigh the pros and cons. And if it's negative, then the answer is no. If it's positive, then yeah. So again, so I get it. I understand. But at the same time, worrying about everybody else is only putting you short. Now, if you got money and you're successful and you can build a community center for homeless people and stuff like that, then you've done your job. That's it. That's it. So, with that being said, my throat hurts. I'm gonna stop here because my throat is hurting, and I'm gonna rest my throat. I'm gonna go to bed and get some sleep. So, what I will say in these situations is mind your own business. Stop worrying about everybody else. Stop worrying about celebrities. Stop being jealous of other people. Stop worrying about the fact that that person may be a little bit further off than you. You don't even know how they got there. You're going to find out that what they did, they're not going to be able to maintain it. So that's how that works. So, like I said, y'all worry about the wrong things. Once you start focusing on yourself and building yourself, then when you make it, then you can say, okay, I can build a community center. I can build something for homeless people. I can go and build something for special needs kids. Yeah, you can start doing those things because those things are things that actually help people, but not that. Not at all. So I'm only telling you what I know. So I get it. But like I said, focus on yourself. Stop worrying about everybody else. Stop worrying about these people that don't want you. Stop worrying about these haters. Stop worrying about negative people in general. You're not that person's speed, so you shouldn't worry about it. You shouldn't have to worry about it. Sorry, my throat hurts. So don't. Like I said, focus on yourself. Focus on what you need to do. Focus on building your businesses, your brands. Focus on education, getting a good job, being able to live life and enjoy. And that's it. I'll think about something. But anyway, I think that's it for me. But I thank y'all for joining me for this episode. I appreciate y'all. Because, like I said, self esteem, self worth, self values are very important when it comes to your health and wellness. The way you respect yourself is the way you're gonna allow people to treat you. If you sit there and allow people to disrespect you, they will continue to do it. People only can do what you allow them to do. People can only manipulate you if you allow them to do so. So again, so like I said, we'll see. I ain't gonna worry about it. Anyway, but like I said, you know, that's it for me. But I thank y'all for joining me for this episode. Even though I'm still not feeling well, we still got to continue doing and got to keep going. So please don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notification button to receive notifications of my videos. Please check out my podcast on Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and multiple other streaming companies as well. So, so with that being said, I think that's it for me. Sorry, y'all. I've had a rough weekend. My throat hurts and then it feels like I can't swallow. So if y'all see me pause for a minute, it's not because I'm asleep. It's just my throat hurts. So with that being said, I have an interview tomorrow with Mr. Carl Rothschild. You all will get to hear it, and I can't wait to do the interview. So gotta get myself prepped. As a matter of fact, I gotta order my computer before I go to bed so I can get it on Thursday or tomorrow. So let me do that now. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notification button to receive notifications of my videos. I will see y'all next week. We talk about our topic of this same topic about you minding your own business versus minding everybody else's. So we'll go into those comparisons next week. Or we may go into them sometime during these interviews. But we'll see. Because I have two. One with Dr. Carl Rothschild and Miss Janae De La Cecil. So, so. With that being said, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And I'm off to bed. Bye, y'all.